pleasant Friday, and welcome to Lone Star Park at Grand Prairie. We've got 10 races tonight, starting in 48 minutes. Please wager early. We've got a really interesting card tonight and a really big night tomorrow. Dollar night, general admission, Miller Lights, popcorn, hot dogs, a bunch of stuff. $1 tomorrow. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But right now, Rodney, Jim Byers here, Rodney Nelson alongside as always. Let's get on to the first of tonight's 10 races. 870 yards, $5,000 claimers. Scratch number 2, Cadina's Cowboy, and the 10 ought to go solo. Brown Bandit, a long shot, gets in.
Yeah, I got number 1, Humphrey. Horse on the Rail is my top choice here. If you look, 3 starts back is when this horse moved out to the 870-yard distance. Won the very first race this horse had going around the hook. Since then, followed it back up with 2 more. Was in the non-winners of 2 allowance and a $10,000 claimer last time out. Didn't win either one of those races. Didn't hit the board in either one of those races. But horse is moving back down here for $5,000. Some class relief should help out Humphrey. That's my top choice here in the opener.
Yeah, and your second pick, my top pick, is the 4, Lethal and Fast. I'm not a big fan of first-time 870 horses. And this horse is a first-time 70, but Roberto Madrigal, the trainer, in not too many starters, is 3 for 6, stretching them out around the turn for the first time. So that's a good number. And like Humphrey, this horse drops out of a $10,000 non-winners of 2 claimer. And I just have a feeling from looking at some of this horse's longer races that, you know, he just doesn't seem all that cut out for the straightaway racing, so maybe he'll be handier going 870. And then our joint third pick is the 7, PF Glimpse Off, who does come out of an 870 win last time out at Gillespie.
Right, it's always nice to have a horse coming off a win. We'll see what happens when it's all said and done, but we just got those top 2 switched here in the opener.
Yeah. Pretty similar selections there. On to race number 2. By the way, the track is fast. 85 degrees right now as we speak to you. Second race, scratch the 11, Beeline 6. These are fillies and mares, non-winners of 2 lifetime, in for $10,000.
Yeah, so it looks like we're both on the same top choice here, number 6, Sombra Dynasty. This horse, if you look back to Retama back in July, it seemed like this horse figured it out. Earlier in the year, this horse was getting beat fairly bad. Come July, went down to Retama Park, won a race down there by a head, followed that back up at a non-winners of 2 for the $7,500 tag, ran second in that one, just missed by a head, a third last time out in the non-winners of 2 allowance race, comes back in here for the tag, give me the 6 on top. And then my second choice, one that's kind of interesting, I think, is number 2, Miss Bunny Dash, comes in here off a maiden-breaking win last time out. If you look before that, this horse had some close-up races when this horse was in for a tag, but has been off the racetrack since April of this year, so we'll see if Miss Bunny Dash at some decent odds can have a good run on her first start back since April.
And one thing to look for in a race like this is we run more filly and mare races in this sport than we used to. Of course, it's commonplace in thoroughbred racing, not so much in quarters, is to look for fillies and mares here that are coming out of taking on male rivals. Many of these have been taking on all comers, including Sombra Dynasty, our top pick. She's only made 8 trips to the post, and they've all been against male rivals and female rivals. A little very subtle, maybe, class drop there, although, there's been filly world champions. Typically, fillies run against the boys. I have Toxic Passion, who, like Ms. Bunny Dash, is coming off a layoff since the Remington meet back in the spring. First time out for Riley Aguilar is Toxic Passion. This horse has been facing just open males and females. Showed pretty good form last year, hasn't done much this year. So, the morning line favorites 5-2 in that race. It's a pretty relatively wide open race, I think. But we both land on Sombra Dynasty, and Rick Lee not only picked her in the program, but bold-faced her. So.
Right.
Let's hope we can get 5-2 on her with all that bold print. Race 3, Quickie here, 220 yards. These are 3-year-olds and up that have started for a claiming price of $10,000 or less last year or this, or they could be in for $10K or $15K, I should say. Scratch the 11 and the 12.
Yeah, so I've taken number 1, SG Jet 2. Here in this spot, last 2 races, this horse was in starter optional claiming races, wasn't in for the tag in either one of those. Ran a 4th last time out, a 2nd by a head before that. a win before that at Sam Houston. So, I mean, this horse has been trending in the right direction. A couple of wins down at Sam Houston, as a matter of fact. I like all the horses' races so far this year. Has hit the board in 3 of those 5 races with those 2 wins. So, give me the number 1 on top. I got number 4, Muddy's Black Mamba, as my second choice. I think this horse can have a good run tonight. We've seen this horse in a few races get out of the gate well and show some speed in those races. Knowing that this one is 220 yards, you got to show some speed coming out of the gate early on in the race if you want to win it. I think Muddy's Black Mamba, if you don't like my other pick, go ahead and go with the 4. I think this horse could have a good run at some pretty decent odds tonight.
I went ahead and took the 8 Valentine's Miss Gal. There's no question you want to be really quick out of the gate in these 220 races, and certainly your top pick, SG Jet 2, is exactly tailor-made for these more abbreviated distances. Valentine's Miss Gal has been going 250 some, won at 300 less than a year ago here. Not her only win. She's won 5 times, but her most recent win. I think I took her mainly because she comes out of a race with LS Jack's back, who I absolutely love, and who I believe is in tomorrow, and I'm picking him. And it's been a really good company the last 2, hopefully over Mash and allowance races, and now Valentine's Miss Gal's dropping in for the $15,000 tag, and I think that may move her up quite a bit. I'm also curious to see how Clint Crawford's runner, this filly Hydra Crazy, the 2 does, coming off the bench since Remington, making a pretty big drop, but is one that can definitely hit the board under the right circumstances.
Yeah, I was looking for a spot to add Hydra Crazy. Just couldn't find one, but I think the horse could run very nice tonight.
It's another interesting race. On to race 4. Texas-bred Colton Gelding 2-year-olds scratch both of the also eligibles, numbers 11 and 12, and they'll go 300 yards.
All right, looks like we're both hanging out on the top choice. Number 10, the Leader's an Eagle here. This horse showed good improvement from start 1 to start 2. I always think that's a good angle. That last race was in a futurity trial down at Retama Park. The Leaders and Eagle ran a good second in that one in a field of 8. So I think this horse is only going to keep improving for trainer John Steinbow. I got number 2, Ruse on Fire, as my second choice. Much like I was talking about how you saw that improvement from start 1 to start 2 on the 10 horse, I'm looking for that improvement in the second career start for Ruse on Fire. This horse is trained by Juan Diaz Jr. We saw him qualify a ton of horses for the Dash for Cash a couple weeks ago. I think Ruse on Fire making this second career start could run fairly big tonight. And then number 3, D1 Famous Bandit's going to be my third place horse. 2 starts for this horse. Both of them were third place finishes. Why not go 3 in a row for third?
Yeah. And in both of those was beaten by a little more than a length and 3/4 once. Length and a quarter the other time. Has run 2 pretty similar looking races. To me, the Leader's an Eagle. I couldn't try to beat. I couldn't beat this guy. The horse that won his most recent race, the trial at Retama, wound up running second in the TQHA Sires Cup Futurity. That's Relentless Politics. And that Relentless Politics also won the Delta Downs Firecracker this year. That was a really salty trial, and that horse ran really well at big odds. If he comes anywhere close to that here, he should win. D1 Famous Bandit, Ruse on Fire, and I also think Chile Ancho, the 5, is intriguing here for a trainer that we don't know a lot about around here. I think he's not run here a lot in my years here, but Leonel Hernandez has a tremendous record. And one thing about Ruse on Fire, he has a work just the other day, the 24th at Red Earth. I'll be announcing this, 12:29 Breezing. Does not appear in the program. Juan Diaz has a lot of horses laid up at Red Earth. That's a training center near Remington. But a lot of times those horses don't fire as well as the horses that are with him here at Lone Star. That could be a coincidence. But and watch the toad on that Ruse on Fire. He could be one that gets bet pretty heavily, I think, sometimes. Lightly raced, that sort of thing. Fifth race, more 2-year-old colts and geldings, 250 the distance, scratch, once again, the 11 and 12.
Yeah, I went with number 9, Embellishment here. 4 starts for this gelding. It's hit the board in all of them except for one. That was the debut back at Sam Houston at the end of April. You see that this horse, the only time he's run 250, that was 2 starts back, just missed by a neck in that one. This horse since that debut has been up there close. Like I said, hit the board in those last 3 races. I think Embellishment could be the one to beat here. Number 7, Will Barger is going to be my second choice. This horse was in the Heritage Place Juvenile 2 starts back. Had another race since then at the beginning of July. Has had a little bit of time off after that. Did have a 2:20 workout in about 12 and a half seconds back at the end of August. We'll go ahead and take a shot for second with the 7. And then I've got the 8. Looks like your top choice. I'll just let you go ahead and talk about Want a Sweet Treat.
Yeah, he's intriguing. He came back from about 2.5 months off, or no, a month and a half off, I should say. Ran at the fairgrounds in a big trial there. Just didn't run much at all. The comment was drifted in, no effort. Hate to see that. But the races at Delta were pretty good. And early in the spring, this guy was pretty good. So I'm hoping that was just an off race. I'm going to give him a shot here in a really wide open race. Will Barger certainly fits at 250. Embellishment always is kind of right in it at the end. And, in hockey, everybody always talks about embellishment. There's even a penalty, in hockey for embellishment. If you get
glad you bring that up tonight, the Stars open this season against Colorado. So.
Oh yeah. Well,
I've been to the NHL in Dallas.
I downloaded the Victory Plus app, and you can see the exhibition games archived, which is kind of nice because I'm not able to watch a lot of evening TV these days. But embellishment sounds like it was named by a hockey fan because everything they're talking about. If you get hooked or tripped, and you
a couple years ago we had a Lundqvist horse, named Lundqvist that ran out here.
Yeah,
I think it was a thoroughbred though. Had a couple hockey references.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, J. Paul Redham out in California, he's named a bunch of horses after hockey players. Nyquist being the best known of them. On to the 6th. We're going to show a video here because I think he's a Jet 1's last race in the Dr. Glenn Blodgett. It just has to be seen again to be believed. This is the B.F. Phillips Jr. that he's in today. That's our 6th race. But this is the Dr. Glenn Blodgett. He's in the 6 hole here. He's on the outside. So let's watch. He's a Jet 1. He's the heavy favorite here. He's going to break beautifully. He's going to be right up in it. I mean, remember the parallax distortion. Those outside horses are doing better than they look. Now they're motoring on down. Looks like he's, to me, going to go on a win by about a half, 3 parts of a length. Now all of a sudden, he starts waiting on horses, and this filly gets up in there, Pink Kiss. Pink Kiss gets a good head on him, and then they come to the finish, and he's a Jet 1 nabbed her right on the wire. I was starting to ramp up the call for Pink Kiss, and I had to reel that back in a hurry. What I liked about that was, he went 350 there. He goes 400 here. He loves this racetrack. He's super talented, and I just think he has this field over a barrel. And that race, I think he kind of goofed around a little bit and let that filly get past him. And then he said, no, I'm going to
go ahead and stick my nose in
It was
front,
still kind of a fortunate bob, but he made a great rally to come back on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on He's a Jet 1 as well. Winner of 2 stakes races in a row, including that Dr. Glenn Blodgett stakes right here. And I love Dollar Bill, right? I really wanted to pick Dollar Bill.
He has a late work,
one.
too.
I really wanted to pick Dollar Bill. It would have been nice. If this horse was running tomorrow on Dollar Night, I would have picked him just because of the name. But what really separated me out was that He's a Jet 1. If you look at that record here at Lone Star Park, has 4 wins out of 5 tries. The only time this horse didn't win was back in the Texas Classic Derby last year, a very big race. He's a Jet 1. The recent 2 races, horse looks good. Go ahead and give me the winner. But Dollar Bill, it's another one. I mean, this horse is in the Retama Derby, the Heritage Place Derby, was in the Texas Classic Futurity last year. So this horse definitely can run with the best, qualifies for some really good races. I just think those 2 recent wins for He's a Jet 1 is what's going to give him the edge over Dollar Bill. But, I mean, it's a toss-up. I could have picked any other day. I could have looked at these again and gone with a different top 4 probably. But I got He's a Jet 1 on top here.
Yeah, what keeps He's a Jet 1 from being an overwhelming favorite is mainly Dollar Bill. I mean, DM Moonpie ran a super race last time at Retama, but Dollar Bill, I mean, he's 12 of 13 in the money. He's won 7 of 13. He did work at Red Earth on the 24th of September. Doesn't appear in the program. 220 on a fast track in 12.16 seconds, so that's pretty good work. He's a Diaz shipper in from Oklahoma. I mean, and not only does he run in these big races, but he competes. I mean, he was only a length back in the Grade 1 Texas Classic Futurity last year, a head back in the Grade 2 Heritage Place Derby at Remington. So, yeah, he's drawn perfectly. He's going to be a formidable foe for He's a Jet.
Right, and I'm going to be mad after this race when Dollar Bill wins. It's like I picked that horse every time and got
somebody else that you liked and you didn't pick, and I forget who. I forget who that was. On to the 7th. Texas breds 3 and up, non-winners of a race other than maiden claiming, or non-winners of 2, scratch the 11 and 12.
All right, so I'm on Corona Trace Eagle. That's the number 2 here. Trained by Toby Keaton. You know, he can win a lot of races. He picked up a win on the card last night. If you look at this horse has hit the board in every try that he's been out to the racetrack pretty much this year, right? 5 of 5, this horse has hit the board. If you look 2 starts back, crossed the finish line 4th, but was elevated to 3rd in that one. All the rest of them, I mean, this horse has been up there within a nose and a neck, so was always up there toward the front, finishing in the mix. I think the 2 takes this one tonight. I got the 5, Salute Mommy, as my second choice. 15-1 morning line on this one. A second last time out, just missed by a neck, picked up a win before that. Close up 4th before that. I mean, this horse has been up there. It was a stakes runner back in May at Sam Houston. 15-1 might be a pretty good price on this horse. Yeah. I think it might send somebody to the windows at that price. And I got the 10 coming in fresh in here off a maiden breaking win. 12-1 morning line as my third choice. So some pretty decent odds for the horses I picked on the morning line at least.
Soaring Eagle has the benefit, the 10 horse, of a race over the track and a win. He had kind of an erratic path that day, but he ran hard. Salute Mommy actually is the only multiple race winner in this race. He's the only one that could get in on the non-winners of 2 angle if he had to. Or, I mean, he's the only one that couldn't get in on the non-winners of 2 angle because he's 3 for 7. I went with Tempted. I really liked his opening night race here. He has a race over the track. Opening night, Texas bred allowance, just like this. Took aim, came on well, earned a good number, so I'm going to try Tempted here over Corona Trace Eagle, who, like Tempted, comes out of a really nice last race where they just missed. 8th race, 2-year-old non-winners of 2, and they're going 250. Scratch the 3 outside horses here, scratch 10, 11, and 12.
I took number 3, Zoomin, 12-1 on the morning line for Zoomin. 4 races for this racehorse. And this year he's got a first, a second, and a third place finish. The one time they didn't hit the board was the most recent race. That was in a stakes race down at the Gillespie County Fairgrounds. I mean, this horse has run 250, 330, 400, 350. So all kinds of different distances. Goes back to 250 tonight. We'll see what happens with Zoomin. It's a big odds. Got number 4, One Swift Rogue as my second choice. 2 out of the 3 races. I mean, this horse has been right there in the money. Just missed by a nose last time out in the second place finish. Got caught toward the end of the race. I think this horse does a lot better at shorter races, so I got this horse in tonight as my second choice. And then number 1, Ranger, that's going to be my third choice. Was a winner, 2 starts back, a couple back-to-back seconds at Sam Houston before that win. Trained by Juan Diaz Jr., Victor Urieta rides tonight. I think this horse has got a shot here in race 8.
Yeah, I mean, he's always bet hard. 6-5 last time. 2-5 the time before, even money the time before, and 3-1 in his debut. Excuse me. I went ahead and took the 4, One Swift Rogue. That's that horse you mentioned had been running in Louisiana bred trials, good ones, at Delta and the Fairgrounds. Competed well in 2 out of 3. Has earned pretty good numbers. I like where he's drawn. I'm going to take him over. He's a fast Cholitos. The horse you picked, Zoomin, it's not reflected in the program stats, but Brittany Tejas has been absolutely on fire at this meet with limited starters. I think she's already won 3 races, including one last night.
Had one last night.
With Froilan Ramirez. They've both been hot to start the year. So, you know, this horse, you know, and I think most of the contention is inside here. So they may get sucked along there in those inside posts. 9th race. 2-year-olds. This is interesting condition. Non-winners of 3. Lifetime, 300 yards, 1 jockey change to note, because I know you like to note when Ricky Ramirez is in town. He's riding the 4 Kaz This Stoli GL. Ricky Ramirez on the 4 in this race in the 9th, scratch the 11 and 12.
Yeah, so I went with number 1, this undefeated gelding here.
Yeah.
Only 2 starts, but this horse was the winner of the Rainbow Juvenile last time out. Both those starts, this horse had in New Mexico. Won both of them. Half a length last time, 3/4 of a length in the trial before that. I think Hard to Politics going to be a tough one to beat here in race number 9. Took the horse right next to number 2, Curl's Magic Wagon, as my second choice. This is a horse that qualified for the Heritage Place Futurity this year. Ran 4th in that one. That's not bad to run 4th in that race.
$1 million race.
Yeah, earned quite a bit of money in that one. Last time out, in a trial over there at the Downs at Albuquerque, didn't do the best in that, but it says the horse was off slow in that one. Yep. Lost path. Just didn't have it that day. Tossed that one out. Focus on the races before. Curl's Magic Wagon. And then I got number 4, Cuz the Stoli GL as my third choice. 3 out of the 4 races, this horse has been right up there within a length. 3/4 back in a stakes race at the Gillespie County Fair last time out. We'll see what happens. I got it 1, 2, 4 in race 9.
Yeah, Curl's Magic Wagon, who is both of our second picks, is out of the very good mare, very productive mare, Aya Spitgirl Girl. Curl's Happy Wagon, who I think is in tomorrow's distaff race, is a full sister to Curl's Magic Wagon, and there's another Curl horse whose name's escaping me, who's also a really good mare that this horse is a sibling to. But
Curl's Joyful Wagon.
Yes, that's it. Thank you. Hard to Politics, one of these. It's never, other than the start call, he's never been behind anybody at any point in the race. He's going to have to run into issues, I think, to not win this. But, it's still a horse race he's got to go out and execute. Race 10. Got a carryover of $4,516 in the Super High 5 in the 10th race. Maiden 3 to 5-year-olds. Scratch the 2 also eligibles.
Yeah, I went with the horse on the inside once again, Adelita Stone. You can see this horse has been running in some maiden races. The last 3 were all maiden races. Second, 2 in a row, beat by 3/4 in both of those. Third by a head the race before that in those maiden races. We saw this horse in a couple futurity trials dating back to last year. I think Adelita Stone can take the nightcap. I got the horse on the outside, number 10, as my second choice. This is another one. This horse has had a lot of chances to get up and try to break that maiden. 10 lifetime races, has yet to do so. But this horse has been facing some pretty solid ones in these trials that this horse has been in. If you look at all the maiden races that Shantastic Rainbow has run in, has been up there close in those maiden races. So comes back in here, faces these tonight, and we'll see if this 10 can't have a pretty good run to get up and hit the board.
I'm throwing a bomb. I'm like Daniel Jones late in that game last night when he was just heaving it downfield. I'm going to take the 5 One-Eyed Jacks for Juan Vasquez. This horse is out of a mare named Just Significant, who won the Ruidoso Futurity. One-Eyed Jacks has a recent work on September 3rd that's pretty quick. Last year, he was just in against really tough Ruidoso and Remington trial horses, and then he tried for the Heritage Place Futurity and ran into Cowboys Gun Z, finished 5 lengths behind him. You can see by his odds, he's always been hugely big-priced, 30, 40, 70 to 1. He gets in a reasonable spot here, and I think he would be a good price, and he's drawn really nicely in the middle. I'm going to take a swing in this last race on One-Eyed Jacks and see what happens. And speaking of the Cowboys, we mentioned it last night, a little nervous time there going into MetLife, but they got away with a win. And amazingly, the Cowboy team that can't stop the run, the Giants only ran for 26 yards against them last night and couldn't put it in the end zone. So no time to break up the Cowboys just yet. Yeah, they survived that.
I've got the Giants running back on my fantasy team, too, so wasn't a very productive night for Singletary.
Yeah. Well, I think he had like 15 yards in his first 3 carries or something, and then he went the rest of the game basically with almost, not negative, but, 23 rushes, 26 yards for the team. But anyway, you had a really good night, though, on the picks last night. So and the Cowboys won,
winners,
too.
And the Cowboys won.
It was a big night for Rodney.
It was a good night,
last night. Well, hopefully this night will be a good one as well. Thanks for joining us. Good luck tonight.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Sitting and watching the races. Where's your swag? You don't got none. How can you even call yourself a true fan without the genuine article, Lone Star Park swag? I don't think so. Why don't you go mosey on down to the corral on the first floor? They got something for everyone. Gifts, garments, and plenty of other stuff to take a gander at. Now if that don't put a bee in your bonnet, nothing will. Still plenty of time to check out the corral. What you waiting for?
We have an exciting announcement for you today. Lone Star Park now has a season pass. That's right. Now you can enjoy the excitement of being at the horse races every day for one great price. This limited time offer is good for general admission every race day in 2024 for both thoroughbred season and quarter horse season. 5 buddy passes to bring friends or family out, and 5 program coupons. You can pick up your season pass at the ticket upgrade counter on the first level for just $100. Supply is limited, so make sure to get yours today. The horses are ready. Are you?
DFW's most unique dining experience is at Lone Star Park, and it's called Silks, featuring tiered panoramic views overlooking the racetrack, bedding from the convenience of your table, and so much more. Tickets are on sale now for the Fall Meeting of Champions.
Lip Chip is calling all horsemen who are ready to bring their barn to the next level. Stop letting technology be your biggest enemy. Lip Chip is built by horsemen for horsemen. We know how you ride. The HoofLink system, powered by Lip Chip, provides you peace of mind, keeping track of horse identity, health documents, and horse performance, all stored securely right at the tip of your fingers. Even track daily temperatures with a swipe of a Bluetooth scanner. We make life at the barn a little easier. Head to hooflink.com and let her rip, Lip Chip.
Join us for Dollar Day on Saturday, September 28th. Admission, hot dogs, popcorn, sodas, water, and beer will all be just $1 each. Visit LoneStarPark.com/tickets to make your plans today. The horses are ready. Are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant Friday and welcome to the Fall Meeting of Champions for